death toll from Israeli airstrikes on Gaza since the early Thursday has risen to 35. 9 Palestinians were killed and others were wounded when the Israeli warplanes targeted homes in Jabalia, in the northern part of the Strip. Separately, 3 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli drone strike that hit tents sheltering displaced people west of Qnews in southern Gaza. At least 8 Palestinians were killed and 61 others wounded in a new Israeli strike near an air distribution center in the Palestinian side of Rafah, southern Gaza. The site is linked to U.S. and Israeli coordinated humanitarian operations. Gaza's government media office reports that the total death toll from strikes near 8 centers has reached 110, with 583 wounded and 9 still missing. The office called on the United Nations and Security Council to take immediate action to open official crossings for humanitarian aid and demanded an independent international probe into what it described as ongoing war crimes. Israeli soldiers from the Army's 7th Brigade say they are facing severe shortages in spare parts for tanks currently engaged in combat inside Gaza. According to Israeli media, a senior commander in the brigade confirmed that the war ongoing since October 7th has led to the rapid depletion of essential military equipment. Incoming Shin Bet chief David Zini has admitted that the Israeli intelligence failure on October 7th was deep and comprehensive. Speaking to Israeli public broadcaster Kan, Zini said, "Responsibility for the failure rests with all the relevant authorities." UNRWA Commissioner General Philippe Lazzarini accused Israeli authorities of barring foreign journalists from entering Gaza since the outbreak of the war. Lazzarini described the restriction as a ban on the truth, urging that it be lifted immediately to ensure transparency and global access to the situation on the ground. The U.S.-supported Gaza Relief Foundation has shut down all its humanitarian aid distribution points in the Strip following repeated incidents of gunfire near its operations. The organization said a reopening schedule will be announced later and urged residents to avoid the sites for their own safety. The agency has faced criticism from multiple humanitarian organizations, including the United Nations, since it launched operations in Gaza. The World Health Organization has warned that Gaza's health system is on the verge of total collapse, with the last 2 public hospitals in Qnews at risk of shutting down. In a statement posted on X, the WHO said no hospitals are currently functioning in northern Gaza. It called for urgent protection of the Nasser Medical Complex and Al-Amal Hospital in Qnews, the only 2 public hospitals still operating in the south. The organization warned that both facilities are running beyond capacity and face critical shortages of drugs and medical supplies. The WHO also noted that continued restrictions on aid access and delivery could force them to shut down completely. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has urged the international community to keep the 2-state solution alive and work to make it a reality.
It is absolutely essential to keep alive the 2-state solution perspective with all the terrible things we are witnessing in Gaza and in the West Bank. And for those that doubt about the 2-state solutions, I ask, what is the alternative? Is it a 1-state solution in which either the Palestinians are expelled or the Palestinians will be forced to live in their land without rights? That would be totally unacceptable. I firmly believe that it is the duty of the international community to do everything to keep the two-state solution alive and then to materialize the conditions to make it happen.
The United Nations honors 168 personnel who died in the line of duty this year, with 126 fatalities in Gaza amid the ongoing conflict. At a memorial service in New York, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described the losses as unspeakable and unprecedented. Among those killed in Gaza, 125 were UNRWA staff members, some who lost their lives alongside their families. Guterres stressed on the urgent need for full accountability and condemned the killing of humanitarian workers as unacceptable. He reminded the world that UN staff members serve as a symbol of humanity in action, answering a call to aid others despite grave risks.